Coming back home, businesses and South Africa as a whole have been very hard hit by COVID-19, looting, and now load shedding is adding pain on top of pain. After saying load shedding would only start at 9 p.m. yesterday, Eskom moved that timetable forward. And today it said that load shedding would be extended all the way until 5 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. It comes after days of disruptions to the grid. To discuss, we're joined by Energy Analyst Lilly. Mr. Lilly, thank you. So Eskom is putting out deadlines again. The latest is 5 a.m. on Saturday, but these deadlines seem pretty arbitrary. Do you agree?
I do agree. And the reason, of course, Francis, is that the power utility has lost control of a lot of its generating capacity. It has so many unexpected trips and breakdowns that it's very difficult for it to predict whether it can supply power reliably or not.
And Eskom says it's hoping to return Kubrick Unit 1 at the weekend. So is this all centered around Kubrick?
No, it's not all centered around Kubrick, but Kubrick obviously is a useful extra generator to have on the network. It's not that big, it's just under 900 megawatts, but it all helps. No, the situation is that most of Eskom's coal-fired power stations are proving to be so unreliable that unit after unit keeps tripping. It's really a major predicament that the utility finds itself in now.
A big question is, should Eskom management have known this earlier in the year? So we have new managers in place. The president has said that he's confident things are changing. But the CEO suggested earlier this year that there could be some let-up. It wasn't categorical, it wasn't a promise, but certainly we didn't expect things to get worse based on what management was saying. Does it reflect on the ability of management, of the CEO, to understand the vulnerability of the grid that he's in charge of?
My personal opinion is no. I think my personal opinion would be that each power station is run independently by its own management team. And what's happening is that the equipment is simply failing at unpredictable times and leaving the network, stranded. The decision by senior management was to increase the amount of maintenance which had been sorely overlooked over many years, and so that meant taking a number of units off the system so that so they could be properly maintained. Now, it's important to understand that maintaining these units takes a long time. It could take as long as 100 days to maintain these units. So if you take a unit down, you can't just quickly bring it back up again. And so the situation is that often when a trip occurs, there's no additional generation capacity available or insufficient generation capacity. So you have to reduce the load. Yeah. And that's what load shedding is all about.
But that would be the right decision then for our future because there has to be this maintenance.
There has to be the maintenance, yes, indeed. But at the same time, we have a serious problem in terms of the environment, and the coal-fired power stations need to be retired sooner rather than later. They need to be either converted to a fuel which is less destructive to the environment, such as natural gas, or they need to be closed down, and basically we need to replace them. Now, we can't do that overnight and we can't do it quickly, but we need to move away from the burning of coal for a number of reasons, primarily because of the environmental harm that burning of coal does to the country, particularly since we are signatories to the COP21 agreement.
All right, and this is a whole new discussion about how quickly we are moving over to renewables. I'm interested for now, could Eskom really be pushing the load shedding this week, because it understands the importance of Monday as election day, and we can't have load shedding then, surely?
Well, I don't know if behind closed doors they've made such a decision. But certainly it's true to say that on Monday we should have no load shedding if they keep their promise in that regard. But, we can't just treat an election day as something special and we'll make sure the lights stay on just for election day. The utility has a mandate to supply reliable, affordable electricity to the nation, not just on election day. And so what's happening, of course, is that the chickens have come home to roost. All the shenanigans that went on in previous years have caught up with the utility, and the utility now is cash-strapped and is stuck with old, unreliable equipment and is unable to provide the electricity the country so desperately needs if it's going to rebuild its economy.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tragedy for so many businesses already hard hit, small businesses. We'll see if we can take you to a restaurant later tonight being load shed. What do you make finally, though, of Johannesburg saying that Eskom should not have shed Joburg? It had acquired additional energy. Then it said, OK, it would put up with load shedding to maintain the grid. To me, it suggests Eskom needs to switch off a whole lot of power. Do you read it the same way?
Yes, indeed. I think we've got to understand that Eskom is supposed to have 80% of its electricity generating capacity available at any time. At the moment, it's about 60%. So we really have a serious situation. The figures that we receive from Eskom indicates that generating availability, including the independent power producers from whom Eskom buys electricity already, falls below the minimum demand. So there's no room for error. There's no buffer. It is very serious. But I suspect what's going on is that Eskom are trying to save money at the moment by not burning diesel fuel for its peaking plant too much, and perhaps saving the stockpile of both diesel and water at its water pumped energy storage system in the Drakensberg, so that it has that to fall back on should we have some more breakdowns on Monday.
All right, thank you so much, Energy Analyst Roger Lilly. And let's see if we can get some sporting action now.